Hi everyone, welcome back to Kirsty Colouring Sketch. I'm going to do a colour along today. I've not done a colour along for quite a while, so I'm going to do it in Amarantine by Anastasia Amarantine, and this page was the most popular page, which was voted by you. So it was this one. It's gorgeous laid down. She's got a Chinese dragon on her shoulder. So I thought we would start off by tackling, oh that's come out of a different page. I thought we would start off by tackling the skin. So I'm hit and miss with skin, but hopefully this is going to go to plan today. The pencils that I'm using are here. Now I think I will probably use all these, but if I add any extras in or anything like that, I will put the pencil names on the screen. So the pencils I've pulled out here, which you will need, is beige red 132, ivory 103. Now I may or may not use that ivory, I've not decided yet. Light magenta 119. We have cinnamon 189. Coral 131. Sanguine 188. And brown ochre 182. Now I may or may not decide to use some of these pencils, but I'm hoping to, if all goes to plan. So as long as you've got all them pencils out, I don't think I'll be using any different pencils from the set. So here we go. So first off, I'm going to go in with the beige red 132. I'm just going to zoom you in. Zoomy. Let me have a look what this looks like. That's fine. So I'm going to start off with the face first, and then when I go on to the chest area I will zoom back out again so that you can see. So with the beige red 132, I'm just going to go over pretty much everywhere apart from where I want to highlight. I'm not really going to touch. So a very light pressure with all your pencils as well, because you'll get more layers out of them then. And I am planning on using quite a few pencils. So I'm starting off around the edge of the face. Don't forget the ear as well. That's a schoolboy error that I make lots of times, forgetting the ear. Just seems to get forgot about over there. I'm going to go over all the edges, around the edges of the face. Don't forget, if I'm going too fast or too slow for you, there is a button somewhere on YouTube where you can speed up or slow down videos. So don't be scared of using that button, or even pausing the video for a little minute. So I'm just going to have a highlight here on the chin. So I'm going to sort of go around with this colour, leaving the tiniest bit of highlight in the chin. I'm not going to put the beige red there. That's pretty much it. Then I'm going to leave another little highlight here, just at the top of the cheekbone, under the eye, just sort of around here. So I feel like the light would be hitting there with the angle of a face. So if you just leave like that sort of amount, like a 5p piece if you're in the UK size, where you're not going in with this beige red, and just go round. Might not even pick up on camera this, because it is really light layers, really lightly, light pressure. Now the nose I'm going to make quite a bit red, but I'm going to leave a tiny little highlight on the end of the nose as well. A really small circle leave on the edge of the nose. If you can hear kiddies in the background, I do apologise, but they're playing a game. They're not really crying, they're pretend crying. They're playing a game with the LOL dolls. It's half term Well, they've been ill, but it is half term as well. So with this side of the face being in the shadows, I am just going to base all of that side with a beige red. I'm not going to worry about any of that. Maybe leaving a little tiny bit of white just somewhere there. And then the forehead just in the centre above the eyebrows, and possibly going more towards this side where the light would come. I'm going to leave a bit of white. So I'm just going to pull it forward a bit, possibly up to there. Then go around the edge of the hair. Start on this side. Going down to the eyebrow. Got a frog in my throat this morning. So we're leaving sort of this area white. Like I say, you can barely tell anything at the moment. So I'm going to pull it up now while we do the chest area. And similar thing on the chest, so I'm going to base everything with the beige red. Leaving out little highlights. So I do want, you can see where the shadows are, where Anastasia's already put them in. And then you can sort of see where she's leaving a highlight as well. So I'm just going to start off around the edges again. Leaving part of this white, but I'm going to go under the chin because there will be a shadow just under the chin. Going around the dragon. And then on this side, pulling this down here. Once we start to get some darker colours in, it'll be easier to pick up what I'm doing on the camera. So I've gone over that shaded area. I am going to leave a little highlight around the shoulder here. I think the dragon has to be red, doesn't it? Red is the colour of luck. That's why they use it for New Year, Chinese New Year. The little red envelopes that they give out. I'm not sure what's dragon and what's skin here, it's a bit confusing. But very light pressure still. Right, back over to this side. And the highlight that I'm going to leave here is around the shoulder blade. So this is the darkness and then this bit is the lightness. So I'm just going to go round. Leaving that strip there. Dust on my page. I'm going to start off with the shoulder where we know that's a dark shadow. Again, I'm going to leave a little highlight around the shadow. I'm going to use this beige red just on top. And I'm going to leave a little highlight around here. Again, similar to sort of a 5p piece if you're in the UK. The smallest coin we have in money. And then I'm going to fill the rest in with a beige red. Now after I've put the base layer down, I like to then go from dark to light. Just going to bring my lamp in a bit more, it's a bit dark over here. Got a dingy morning. But yeah, I do like to go from dark to light once I've got my base layer down. And now we're just going to fill in all the chest. But let's do this shadow first, because we know we definitely want that beige over there. I'm going to leave this strip here as a highlight in between the boobies. I'm going to go round the edge just a little bit with the beige red, but again I'm going to leave a highlight around the top of the boob. Top of the boob. Fill in all the centre. Then again on this side, use your beige red to go under here. And then leave a little highlight around this area. There we go. So I'm going to bring back down her face now. I'm going to work some more on here. So I am going to go in with the brown ochre next, 182, and I'm going to go into all the shadows with this. So everywhere that Anastasia has put these grayscale areas, that's where I'm going to go. So I'm going to start at the jawline, I think. I'm going to use a light pressure as well, because I think I'm going to bring some of the sanguine colour into this. So I want a light coverage, then I've got room to add more layers. Because I think less is more. It's that little old saying. It's harder to take it away than it is to add. So if you start off with a light layer and then you take a step back and you have a look, if you feel that it needs more colour anywhere, you can just add it, rather than if you start with the eraser then you're starting to erase layers that you don't want to erase, if that makes sense. So I'm just filling in with the hardest pressure that I'm going to use. It's not a hard pressure, it's like a light to medium. But I am going in with the darkest pigment on those grayscale areas. A little tiny bit around the eyes, but I'm going to bring some pinks into the eyes, so I'm not going to go too deep there. And then we've got some shading around the nose. I'm going to go in on those nostrils as well. Sometimes I've been afraid to go in on the nostrils dark. You see some pictures that have used black under there, and sometimes I'm a bit scared to do that. And we've got a little bit of shading here. Bit of light shading there on the cheek. So just under the mouth as well. If you hear chattering, it's just my son. Like I said, they're off school half term now, so they've got 2 weeks off school. 2 weeks. So bringing this colour down under here. And not forgetting the ear. Remember the shading in the ear as well. So we're going to have all the grayscale parts of the ear going over with this one. And we're going to do the exact same on the chest area now. So I'm going to move it up So still using the brown ochre 182. Gonna go over all the grayscale areas first with this colour. Light to medium pressure. Emergency vehicles going past my house, you will hear that on the video. Again. I think we've got a bit of shading here in the back of the neck. So what's everyone's favourite Anastasia book? I only own this one. But I do like the look of Serenity, is it? I do like the look of that one. Little tiny bits here. Once you've got the initial shadow in, you can play around softening the edges after with just some, you can even maybe soften it with some peach or some cinnamon. Now moving down here, still in frame, are we? I'm just going to bring some of the colour and blend it very lightly into that highlight in the middle. So that is that colour done with. Bringing it back down to the face now, and I'm going to add a little bit of Sanguine colour. So this is a 188, and I'm basically going to go over the top of where I've just been. So start with the ear, possibly, and very light pressure, just add a little bit of this colour. Not too much, just add a little touch into it, because we don't want it to look like she's been tangled, but we do want some, it sort of gives a warmth into it, I think. You can see just by putting that little bit down, that's give a warmth to it. And this is where you can start bringing your colours out. So really lightly blend this colour out into nothingness, so you can barely see anything going on the page as you're pulling it towards your highlights. Again, if I'm going too fast for you, you can slow the video down or pause it. And I think at times, sometimes when you're putting the initial layers down, you can look at it and think, oh, it's looking a bit weird, or it's looking a bit blotchy or patchy. It will do until you burnish it. So don't be too worried about that. As long as you're putting your layers down, you know, lightly and as smooth as you can, then when you burnish it, you know, it'll all come together. And burnishing, if you're new to colouring, burnishing basically means when you use either a blender or the lightest colour that you've put down, to use a hard pressure to fill up all of the tooth of the paper that's left. That's what burnishing is. So it's the thing you do right at the end. When you're happy with all your colours you put down, then you burnish right at the end. So I'm gonna pull this colour out into here as well, because I think it's nice to do a bit of a pink nose sometimes. I know I've been watching a few makeup tutorial videos lately, and they've been putting quite a lot of pink tones onto the noses lately. You know how all the rage used to be to hide a red nose with powder, didn't it? And now it's coming into fashion that a little pink nose is cute. So put some of that colour there. Bit more around here. And on the eyes, I'm just going to put a hint of it, because I want to bring some pinks around the eyes. So I don't want to fill up the tooth of the paper too much around there. I'll put a little bit in. So I'm going to move it onto a chest area again now, and the exact same thing, just going over all these areas that we've already been with the Sanguine. And trying to just soften your edges a little bit by bringing some of it very lightly into the highlighted spaces. I'm into the beige red, should I say. Very lightly, you can barely see that where I'm bringing it in to the centre. You can barely see, barely touching the page to blend that in there. The most fiddly bit is getting around this dragon tattoo that she's got going on. In one breath I kind of want to do it red, and then in the next I'm thinking white gel pen, or maybe red with white gel pen round. But that'll be part whatever whatever I decide to colour it on. It's going to be in quite a few parts, this Colouralong, and you'll have to bear with me because I've got the kiddies off school. You will have to bear with me with the videos going up, but I will complete all of this page on camera. You just may have to wait a little while for it. Right, I'm going to very lightly add some of this colour around here as well. It just brings a bit of richness to a skin. There we go. You don't want to go into this highlight though. Don't go into that highlight with the Sanguine. Sometimes on paper as well, it's happened here, sometimes it can just appear that it might even be this, because it's the last page. Sometimes you can just sort of hit something that puts a darker bit of pigment on your page. That is really annoying, it does annoy me that. You can erase it, you can try and erase it if it really bothers you. Sometimes I find going over with a white pencil or a like ivory pencil when we're blending at the end that it can just disappear. So I'm going to pull some of this colour up now to sort of blend it in a little bit. Not too much because we do want that highlight leaving there, so I'm not going to bring it up there, I'm just going to bring it at the bottom area a bit towards the centre. And then down here. And then I'm gonna do the same with this, where I'm bringing it up a bit. Not going into the highlight, just bringing it over that beige we put down. Now you can take a step back and have a look if there's anywhere you want to bring any more of this colour. Obviously not going into your highlights, so we've left this bit, and the bit above the chest there. Now we could bring it, oh, not like that, why did it go on so harshly? You can bring it down a little bit, very, very lightly. Onto the chest a little bit. I'm going to soften them edges with some cinnamon, I think, next. But moving back onto the face first. So bring you down. So I'm going to go in with the cinnamon next, 189. And I'm going to use this, I'm not going to go in right to the edge, I'm going to bring it further towards the highlighted section. So I'm going to start around here and just add this and bring it forward a little bit. So again, not going into your highlights, but just enough so that you could try and bring it all together towards the centre of the face. going around the nose as well. So now we've got some colour in the centre of the face there. It's not just going to be pale. When we burnish, it's going to be brought to life. Putting a bit around those brows. And a bit on this side of the head as well. I'm going to put a bit of colour into this side of the face. Pull it into the centre a little bit. I'm going to go above the head as well, just on the little section, just over the top, but leaving all this highlight that we still want. Like that, not forgetting the ear. We can go all the way around the ear with this one pretty much. I'm just going to leave a little tiny bit of a highlight there. Then moving on to the chest area again, and we're going to do the same thing. Who likes colouring skin then? I'm hoping if you're following this Colouralong that you do like colouring skin. Or maybe you're just having a go. I don't mind it. It's not my most favourite thing to do. But I don't mind it so much anymore. So I'm still leaving my highlight where I want it, but I'm just putting some of this cinnamon around because we're trying to merge all the colours together. I'm trying to merge the shadows into the highlights without it going in too harshly. That's what we're trying to do here, if that makes any sense at all. Don't worry about if you go over the dragon a little bit, because any colours that you're using on the dragon, you know, if I do go for reds, it's going to cover up very easily, very easily. So I'm going to come down the middle with this colour now. Just trying to fill it in a bit better around the highlights. So obviously we've got these two highlights around here. There we go, and pull it down again. So far we have been in with our beige red, we've used our brown ochre, we've used sanguine, and we've used cinnamon. So I've got a couple of colours left here now. I've got the light magenta and I've got the coral. So I'm gonna go in with the light magenta next. This is 119. And with this one, I'm just gonna use it. Has my camera gone blurry? Let me check for you guys. Don't know why it's done that. There we go, that's better. What's going on with it? So for this part, I am just going to use this light magenta on the face. I'm not going to use any on the body. And I'm going to use it around sort of the cheek area and eye area. A little, maybe a little bit around the head. But really light pressure with this, guys, because you don't want it to be too overwhelming, too overbearing. If that makes sense. So pulling this up around the eyes. Now you can go in with quite a bit more around the eye area. I think it's really nice, this colour around the eyes. So you can see I've put quite a lot under there. Bring a little bit onto the face, to the forehead, I should say. Then this eye as well. Bit on the ear, just little touches of it. You know what, I think I will put a bit into the skin actually. I will put a bit onto this, just over the shadows. Just a little touch of it. You'll barely notice it over here, but there we go. And then back down, and we're going to go in with the coral. So this is 131. Not focusing again, this camera, is it? What's going on? What's going on? Come on, hello. It's not loving me today, but it's the coral 131. And we're going to go in around sort of the cheek area to sort of create a bit of blush. Leaving that highlight there that we still want and sort of coming underneath the highlight. So bringing it out a bit here. darker at the edge of the face and then easing off pressure as you get towards the middle, and sort of blend it in a little bit. And bear in mind as well, depending what you use to blend can have a whole different effect on your burnished skin. So sometimes I blend with my ivory pencil or my white pencil, and sometimes I blend with the Caran d'Ache full blender. Now I do like using the Caran d'Ache full blender if I've coloured something that I want to remain very, very vibrant after I've blended it, because this smooshes all your colours together fantastically, but it almost makes your pigments brighter. And sometimes that doesn't go down well when you're blending skin, because what can happen when you do use this full blender, it can make everything, like, it'll make the browns here really, really vibrant. It'll make this pink just pop really boldly, and sometimes you don't want that on skin, so I'm a bit weary about using that around the skin. So probably won't be using that one today, thinking about it. I'll probably just use my ivory or my white pencil to blend. We'll see. But she's got a lovely blush cheek now. I'm also going to use some of this around the eyes again, and a little bit around the nose. So going around the eye area, over those highlights, gently, over the shadows, sorry, gently into the highlight. You could go in a bit deeper on the actual eyes around the ear, but to give her a sort of eyeshadowed effect, which I like. I'm gonna go onto this cheek a little bit as well. Put a bit of blush into that side. A little bit on the end of the nose. There we go. I might pop a little bit of the pink just around the skin as well, on the shoulders. You know, sometimes when you've been sun-kissed and you get that little brightness on your shoulders, sort of, or sunburn, shall we say sunburn. Right, and that's that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm actually not going to use the ivory, I'm going to use my white, but I'm just going to give it a little sharpen because it can get a little bit mucky on here. So I've changed it up, I'm not using the ivory, I'm going to use the white instead. So if you've not already got your white pencil out, just grab your white pencil, it's 101. Again, we're not going to be in there, are we? So I'm going to start burnishing now, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the beige red to burnish, apart from in the highlighted areas. So in the highlighted areas where we've left the forehead, the little bit under the eye, the chin, I'm going to burnish with the white so that we keep that highlight and we don't lose it. So if you just, with a medium to high pressure, go over your highlights. Sometimes you can get dust on the page and it's really annoying, and I'm just going to rub it off. I've just burnished some dust into my page. It doesn't matter that I'm erasing because it's there's no pigment there. That's the bit that I left white. Why is it not coming off? There's nothing worse, is there? Ignore my mess, guys. You carry on doing yours perfectly. Let me get my dusting brush. Right, yeah, so pull all the white over your highlighted areas first. Well, this is what I do. Not everybody does it like this, but it's a little bit down the nose, this little bit on the eyebrows, under the eye there, chin, the little bit on the ear, and we're going to move you down, and I'm going to medium to hard pressure over all these highlights down here. So we have the little bit on the neck, we have the little bit around the collarbone. Just make sure that you're not going to use that lose the highlight when you start going in with the beige. You could burnish with all of this white everywhere, to be honest, but sometimes it can take your colour away. If you go over your shadows with the white, it can dull them down. There we go. So now I'm going to go in with the beige red 132 to burnish. So we're going to go over all of the shadowed areas. So all the colours, all the pigments will come out now. It's going to come to life now, this page. All the colours you've put down are going to pop. Be careful not to go over your eyebrows, because when you're colouring them, if you've accidentally burnished over your eyebrows, it's hard to get colour in then. And I know this because I've done it. I've made all these mistakes. I have done that. I'm going to go over this bit with a white at the end to try and soften out some of those bumps. If you've got anything like that, you can try and soften out with white at the end. It won't be as harsh as if you try to do it with a beige red, because, you know, that just won't work. Oh, it doesn't for me. We all have our little ways of doing things differently. Going to get my white back out because I forgot to go in on that little nose area there. Back with a beige red. So the cheek area is really going to pop when I go over with this in a second. You'll really get that redness coming out of that cheek. Just going to sharpen this pencil. See that colour popping? Just going to do around this little highlighted chin first. So I'm just making sure I've got all the white space around here filled in, and then I will go in with the white just to bring it all a bit smoother. Just going to soften the highlight on the eye just by going over with that beige red. There we go. Now I'm going to get the white just to blend that into the highlight and try and get rid of some of the blotchiness. It just smooths it out a bit more without putting any hard pigment down. There we go, that's a beautiful face done. Now I'm going to move on to the shoulders. So with the beige red 132, I'm going to burnish this as well. Not going over those highlights. I'm not too worried if I go over any of the dragon, because the dragon's going to be a darker colour, so that doesn't matter. I'm just going to pop some sheets of paper underneath here. Very, very fiddly. I mean, this dragon, it's not the best. Not my favourite thing in the world to go around things getting skinned on. We'll get there in the end, guys. Carry on with it. So I hope you don't mind the bit of silence whilst we're doing this. It's my concentration mode, that's what it is. Making sure we're well burnished. I'm going over with the white again on this as I did with the face. So just make sure that you avoid those highlights. You can bring the beige red a little bit up into them. That's how it'll blend in nicely, but very lightly. Just blending that beige red into that white highlight. And again around this one. Right, I'm going to go in with the white now to just go over everything on this chest and neck. Just smooths it out a bit better. This is the bit that aches your arm, isn't it? Definitely the bit that aches your arm. Also, if you're ever doing this and it's not the last, this is the last page, but if you're ever doing this and it's not your last page, when you're burnishing, you might want to put pad underneath out so you're not putting indentations into the image that's behind. I've also made that mistake several times, more times than I care to admit. There's my duster. So once you feel that it's all burnished, There's no white space and it's as smooth as you can get it, because it doesn't always come out smooth as smooth. But when you're happy with it, you can just stop and take a step back. I'm just doing a bit more on the head. And I will zoom out a little bit for you. It's a bit better. So, and that's her done. And I've sort of coloured this skin so that we've already got sort of shading, a bit of eyeshadowiness around the eyes. That's what I like to do with my skin, is add those pinks and purple tones around the eyes. But yeah, that's it, guys. So just a quick reminder, if you're watching this and then want to join in with a colour along, I did use white 101, beige red 132, I used coral 131, brown ochre 182, sanguine 188, cinnamon 189, and light magenta 119. And I think that's actually, you know, one of the most pencils that I've used on skin to date, probably. But yeah, I do like how it turned out. I think the lighting of my camera is making it look more washed out, because it is really, I wonder if I turn this camera off if it looks how it looks to me. So yeah, it does look, it looks a lot nicer in real life, guys, than on camera. I don't know why the camera does that to it, but maybe we can get a different angle on it, maybe not, who knows. Don't think it's gonna, but there we go. So I hope you liked following along, or if you plan to follow along, I hope you do. As I say, it is going to be a full colour along, so the next time I pop on, I probably will either be doing the hair or a sort of dress and dragon, so we'll see. But then we'll tackle some of the things in the background as well. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Please do hit the thumbs up, comment down below and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.